Whai whakaro ki o mātou whānau no tai mahane no māwiri ana kia piki te kāte ora te maramatanga ki rungi a rātou. O te kau mātou katoa ki rungi te matoa te whenua.
Koutou ngā manu hini whānau i taimai ki te haka nui i tēnei rā. Mihi atona kia koutou te kaho koutou ki te hau mai ki rota te makariri mo tēnei rā. And I thought to myself, I'll tap into the cute computers that used to sit on the taumata at our maraes and use their wise words. Jacinda Ardern, before you came the Prime Minister of New Zealand, you were Jacinda Ardern.
Kia ora tātou, tāne wahine, tēnā rā koutou katoa, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this auspicious event today. In the interest of how Ngati Hine likes to work, it is a tāne wahine combination. Yeah. We also think about succession and bringing up our learners. I'm just glad Te Ara, he's willing to guide me and help me today and build my confidence in being a member of a Master of Ceremonies. Kia ora tātou.
So on behalf of the Hundertwasser Memorial Park Trust, a big welcome to all our visitors here today. Looking back at school centenary records over the years, I see Kawakawa and this little valley have been home to a number of members of Parliament. To name a few, there was Alan Macready, Colin Moyle, Norman Douglas, Sir James Henry, Michael Moore, who for a very short while was actually Prime Minister of New Zealand, and who was actually brought up where was the Windsbill industry there, and that was where his mum and dad brought him up until he was about 10, I think it was. In August 2017, we signed our first MOU with the councils, all agreeing to work together. To our advantage, the Lemons Hill Slip presented us with the fill and work began. Sort of whether we wanted it or not, we had to fill, so away we went. With Miles and Moody working all hours to spread the fill around the site. We were away. We are very grateful to our funders, the Regional Growth Funds, Lotteries, Environmental Heritage and Communities Facility, Foundation Northland Regional Council, Far North District Council, Far North Holdings for taking over the task of project managing. Thank you very much. And the Hundertwasser Vienna Foundation through Richard Smart, the New Zealand representative, who gave us this wonderful entrance we are standing in front of.
Thank you, Noma.
Kia ora everybody. Te Ara here and I have a script, but we're going to go off script, as we tend to do. I'm going to invite somebody who's not even on the speaking list, who has been given a couple of minutes warning, because the person is Richard Smart. Richard Smart is the representative for the Hundertwasser Foundation based in Vienna, and he lives just over the hill here. So in the true spirit of the Hononga, I'm going to invite Richard to say a few words and just make it we can all call this an MC's call. So, Richard, kia ora tātou.
Thank you very much. Well, I probably had a bit more than 2 minutes warning because I was alerted and the foundation in Vienna sent me a few words to share with you, and I'm going to read those to you now. Firstly, they would like to greet the Prime Minister and all the dignitaries and all the local leaders, and I want to say thank you for being here and read this out. On the occasion of the inauguration of Te Hononga Hundertwasser Memorial Park, the Hundertwasser Foundation would like to express its gratitude and respect to all the dedicated teams and individuals who contributed to this most important entity, allowing it to become a reality. May this unique Te Hononga Hundertwasser Memorial Park shine and enrich the life of all its many future visitors. The Hundertwasser Foundation salutes Te Hononga Hundertwasser Memorial Park. We salute the devoted contributors, the champions who fought to realize their vision of gifting to Northland and beyond such an important cultural, vibrating and inspiring centre. Hundertwasser said, "If we do not honour our past, we lose our future. If we destroy our roots, we cannot grow. Our primary goal is to live in tolerance and human dignity, while preserving our distinctiveness and identity. Both tolerance and human dignity, as well as preserving our distinctiveness, are existential questions that make up our survival." That was Hundertwasser in 1992. The Hundertwasser Non-Profit Foundation is proud to honour the legacy of Hundertwasser by continuing to build on Hundertwasser's generous contribution to Northland and New Zealand during his lifetime. These gifts are not just facades on a building, but an enrichment to the people in culture, economy and social identity. Hundertwasser's spirit and these gifts are assets to New Zealand and especially Northland that will keep on giving for future generations. Thank you.
O mai anō te paki mo Richard Smart.
She's done an outstanding job, and I just want us all to acknowledge the work that she's done. Thank you very much. Prime Minister, can I welcome you? It's so lovely to have you with us today, and we appreciate the fact that you've given up your time to be here with us. Can I also just wish you all the very best in the Nobel Peace Prize announcement that's been made. We just, fingers crossed, feather in your cap and hopefully a feather in ours. So thank you very much. Prime Minister, I bring apologies and best wishes from Cheryl Mai, Penny Smart and Jason Smith, our local government leaders in the north here, and they want to wish everyone here all the very best as well. I also want to acknowledge fellow councillors and community board and council staff, and I particularly want to recognise Kelly Stratford and thank her for all the work that she does for our community. She'll be as embarrassed as all hell that I mentioned her name as well. I want to also acknowledge former elected members Sally McCauley and Tanya McInnes and others who have done work, and along with the current councillors and the council staff. Thank them all very, very much.
Bleak history when I think of when I was a boy and my aunt and uncle ran the Star Hotel and my auntie Bonnie Tuho cut everyone's hair here. Hopefully the pulse and the Manawa Order, the beating heart of Kawakawa, meaning, Prime Minister, a source of well-being. The famous Kawakawa plant capable of regenerating health. Let us hope, let us support, and let us commit that this initiative and this institution is a physical representation of a regenerated heart for Kawakawa. Tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa.
Kia koutou. Thank you so much everyone for coming out today and sharing this very, very special moment with us. Despite what the Mayor has said, my sense is when you smell the rain, don't extend the pain, so I'm not going to risk it by speaking for too long. So I'm also going to, on the inspiration of Len, your fine words in opening, I'm going to dispense with my long list of acknowledgements, because so many of you have played a role in this special day, and so to every single one of you, I acknowledge you. I particularly acknowledge the tamariki, who have done and the rangatahi who have done such an amazing job of being so patient today, but also singing so beautifully. I've noticed in the campaign trail, usually I'm on standby to spring into a waiata for the speakers, but I noticed of late that my colleagues have been organising singers for us, which I'm starting to take a little personally, so it's not just you, Calvin, I think it's me as well. I'll finally finish by acknowledging Padre for starting with a prayer today, and this project would not have become a reality without the vision and immense work of such a huge number of inspiring people, and Noma, you did such a good job of acknowledging everyone. So I'm going to acknowledge you. Now, I know it's rude to do this, but Noma is 85 years old, and I think, Noma, that should be acknowledged. That you have been a driving force for Te Hononga, and you have been such a diligent caretaker of this community's vision for so many years. So I'm taking it upon myself to say thank you to you. Wow. I do also want to add my acknowledgement to Laurel. It's always the ones that stand at the back, isn't it? Behind the pillar, but as the overall project manager, and someone who also had a vision that broadened to include a public library for many years to come. People will be wanting to thank you for that vision. So Laurel, thank you. To Ngati Hine, who have worked in partnership with the Kawakawa Hundertwasser Memorial Park Trust, who have created such inclusivity in this collective vision. Ngati Hine, I acknowledge you. To the trainees who constructed the earth walls and the local artists whose whakapapa and identity are bound now to this beautiful, beautiful space and will continue to tell rich stories for many years to come. To my colleagues, the Honourable Shane Jones and the Honourable Calvin Davis in particular, whose oversight of the Provincial Growth Fund and Tourism Infrastructure Fund have enabled communities to host and manaki their own people and visitors alike. And also Lotteries, Foundation North, Pub Charity, for your continued support for projects up and down the country. The Kawakawa Hundertwasser Park Centre, this wonderful facility, as you've heard, it includes an interpretive centre, gallery, public library, community workshop, public facilities, freedom campus, showers. It is a facility I know that will serve the community and visitors for generations to come. And the name, Te Hononga, it carries with it a number of important and appropriately symbolic meanings. It's about union, connection, relationship, bond, and the joining of a place. And there really couldn't be a more fitting name for this space. The spirit of Hononga can also be found in the walls of the centre, fusing Māori designs and values with green construction principles to reflect the union of cultures and our care and respect for the natural world. This centre is the combination of a long-held aspiration and it honours Frederick Hundertwasser in a community that embraced him as a friend, as a neighbour, and as whānau. Frederick fell in love with Aotearoa, but not just Aotearoa, he particularly loved the far north. And the toilets here in Kawakawa, arguably the most famous in the world, embody the joy and generosity that infused all his life and his work. In fact, as an architect, Hundertwasser's vision was truly joyful and generous. And I can't think of better words to describe the far north, the place that he fell in love with. The artist in him never wanted to see the world populated by cold buildings with square corners. And I think he would have been proud of this place. He would have been proud of a structure with very few square corners. He would have been proud that people trained others and learned a craft in creating this place. He would have been proud of the artists that came together. And he would have been proud of Kawakawa, his community, the place that he called home. May we forever be proud of this place. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou tātou.
There is nobody left to thank. So I think I'll just thank myself. After all, I've been here since 4 o'clock this morning. And that's an achievement for a man of my stature. I just got to write a couple of things down, never to do again, to let Lenny stand up ahead of me, to allow him to speak English. He's much better in Maori, but he has captured the day. Because it's how we personalize our commitment to this place. And the man who inspired it, I never met him. I never saw him. I never heard him speak. In fact, when they opened these, it is inspirational when you think that a man took a very iconic New Zealand institution, the outhouse, and turned it into a memorial that'll stand forever. I grew up in this town. Well, I came to this town a lot as a child. It was the beginning of the world. And I never knew another world existed out of here until my parents packed me off to boarding school. And then I realized Kawakawa wasn't that big a place after all. But it's still home. I'm going to challenge the gods. I'm going to keep you here for another half an hour.
No.
If they think that we're scared of a little bit of rain, they're right. So I'm going to use this toko, which kind of reminds me of another film I watched at the King's Theatre called The 10 Commandments. And while everybody loved Charlton Heston's performance, everybody here can see I love the old Brenner.
Oh, beautiful.
And all the support that you've given, all the projects that you've Hundertwasser. And there's I've left the cover on, I know it's been transported and lots of glamour. It might give this to somebody, your team.
Yes, we will take care of it.
Yeah.
Get out of the way, you guys can get a good shot.